Bring in retired general and former NATO Supreme Allied Commander Wesley Clark for more. General Clark, thanks for joining me. What will you be watching for when all these leaders meet in the Oval Office tomorrow?
Question is, how much pressure is going to be put on President Zelensky to concede the territory in Donetsk, and how quickly is this going to move? That territory in Donetsk is critical for the defense of Kyiv, because if they give up these fighting positions 100, 150 miles to the east, it's open steppe. Everything's open. There's no defenses really between there and Kyiv. And so as others have said, Putin's tried for 3.5 years to take this. He's never taken it. He's trying to get it diplomatically. But so that's part of it, is the territorial swap. The other part is, it takes a long time to really get to the details of a peace agreement. What Vladimir Putin has done with this is he has refused to do a ceasefire that would have immediately stopped the fighting. He has then threatened the Europeans not to get engaged. He twisted President Trump's determination to get the ceasefire, and so he's able to keep the military pressure on and extend the talks indefinitely while his forces try to take more land in the south and the east of Ukraine. And that's his game plan.
Now, General Clark, I want to talk about that territory you were just referencing. That same territory in Ukraine is crucial to these peace talks. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says both Russia and Ukraine will have to make concessions. But how does the current state of the war factor into negotiations?
Well, it always is seen as the backdrop. And so people will tell President Zelensky, hey, you don't have the forces. You better give up now. You're going to lose worse. And tonight, right now, Kyiv's under heavy attack by cruise missiles from Russia. But the truth is, the Ukrainian military and the leadership in Ukraine is not prepared to give up this territory. President Zelensky's made this very clear, because it jeopardizes all of Ukraine to give it up. So the issue comes down then to security guarantees. So President Trump says he's open to considering U.S. security guarantees. But what are those guarantees? It has to be really spelled out and agreed. And understand, when you're talking about a security guarantee, you're talking about, if it's real, you're talking about U.S. forces, U.S. military capacity going to war with Russia if Russia violates the peace agreement. So no U.S. president has been willing to do this, has been willing to stand on that Budapest agreement of 1994-95. President Obama didn't. He gave away Crimea. President Biden didn't. He gave weapons, but not in sufficient quantities. And now it's up to President Trump, and we'll see whether he can really live up to the concept of a security guarantee or not.
Okay, but General Clark, I want to ask you this question. What stands out to you about President Trump's summit with Putin in Alaska and the ability of the United States to actually work as a good mediator and mediate these peace talks?
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing Putin to the United States and showing him F-35s and a B-2 flyover and saying, you're on my turf now. But there was a sound reason for requiring this to begin with a ceasefire, and that is to stop the killing. And that's what President Trump says he wants. Now, when you say you're going to go for a peace agreement instead of a ceasefire, what that does is that continues the fighting, perhaps indefinitely. In the 1950s, we started talking to North Korea about an armistice in Korea in 1951. It was almost 2 years later that we finally got the fighting stopped. So saying that a peace agreement's quick and easy, it's not necessarily so. So I think for the people in Ukraine, they're very concerned, because what they'd like to hear from the United States is our values. We believe in democracy. We believe in freedom. We're going to stand up for those who share our values. And instead, if you cast the United States as a neutral mediator in this, it begs the question of what's this about? And then if you say, well, you're going to put a security guarantee on it, then it raises more questions. So I think we have to really figure out in the United States where we stand on this, how important this is to us, and then make our agreement and stick to it.
All right, General Wesley Clark, thank you for your analysis.